It's the end of the weekend, but I still wanna turn up. Yeah, I still wanna turn up. All I want is to go again, but you ain't picking your phone up. Why you messing my head up? Any night, any day, let me take you away. All I need is just saying yeah, 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 yeah. Better nights, better days, when you're here with me, babe. 'Cause you're all that I crave, so I wonder, where are you? Where are you? Don't hide away from me when I need you most. We got love guaranteed, and I have to know, say.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Could have, would have, should have is the difference of what I'm talking about. The good teams don't come in and say could have. They get it done. All right? It's that simple. I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet. Because we're saying could have and they ain't.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, Nathan Snell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing safe. Take a little break from halftime show with the Alabama-Texas A&M game. Pretty good, interesting game so far. Kind of testing the waters a little bit. But I thought I would get this video out to y'all. Washington Commanders versus Tennessee Titans preview. By now, like I said, the previous video with the Ravens preview, this episode is also pre-recorded, and that will go live in the morning. So be tuned in for those. And then Maryland, that will be live sometime later in the evening, probably about around 7, 8-ish. I want to do it before the Raven game. So in this video, painfully previewing part 2, the Commanders versus the Titans. Where do I begin? Last couple of weeks, we have been struggling as an offense to score points. I've seen some things on social media and on news articles regarding one Carson Wentz, whether he should be benched or not. And my response to that is no, he should not. Because let's be real. I understand Taylor Heineke brings excitement to this offense, but that excitement didn't turn any wins last year. I didn't see any excitement in terms of, okay, how can that transition into being a legit offense? We understand Carson's tendencies as a quarterback. But I got to put some of this blame on Ron Rivera and Scott Turner. You're dealing with an injury-plagued offensive line. That's really that the depth's being tested. You know, even though against the Dallas Cowboys, there was a lot of holding and different things like that. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot always look to the refs to say, "Oh, that's a foul. That's a penalty. That's a penalty." Can't do that. You've got to make adjustments and say, okay, they're not going to give us those calls. We're going to try this. I just don't think Taylor Heineke fixes these issues. And I would really, in my opinion, I would really hate to see the Washington Commanders take a high draft pick. Let's just say, because I still pick this team to win 10 games. Let's just say hypothetically they don't win 10 games. I would hate them to turn around and draft another quarterback when you signed and traded for one and you had one on the bench that may not be starter material, but what's going to be the excuse when we draft this? If we draft one of those quarterbacks in next year's draft and you see these same issues, can't keep drafting quarterbacks. At some point, there's issues others that needs to be fixed. Offensive line needs to be fixed. DBs need to be fixed. Defensive line needs to be fixed. Linebackers need to be fixed. There are other issues that the Commanders have, and quarterback to me is just not one. It's not at the top of the priority list. That's just my personal opinion. With that being said, coming into this game, we got to face Derrick Henry and those boys. It's interesting. We've lost 3 straight games, and we just had a combined 18 points in the last 2 games. All these things are fixable. I think we just have to kind of sit back. We have to take a deep breath and just evaluate some things. And I think a lot of that starts with coaching, is the adjustments. We're 25th in scoring so far. We're 21st in running the ball. I think we're 17th throwing the ball. And ironically, we're in the top 15 when it comes to red zone scoring. Looking at Washington on the defensive side, I'll get to the defensive side. I'll get on the defensive side of the ball. Hold on to that. But I think it's going to start with the offense. I'm looking at a couple things. I'm curious to know what tendencies we're going to see out of Carson. He has to get the ball to his playmakers early. Jaheim Dobson's out. Logan Thomas is questionable. McLaurin, I think guys have focused on him more. That's why you see he's not getting his stats. But the stats he's been getting are in garbage time. I mean, Curtis Samuel has been looking really good so far. They're just missing the big plays. But I think it also is what can Scott Turner do to help Carson to get the ball to his playmakers, get the easy plays, get some of the easy stuff going. And I think that's one thing. Like, they got to really, really do some things. That means get the ball quicker. This offensive line has 3 different starters, and I can really see they're going to need to really be the key. I mean, Carson has not looked comfortable at all, and we can't go again. Like I've noticed. Oh, the second half we'll figure it out. No, we need to figure it out. As if we see mistakes like if you see mistakes like the first 4 possessions, okay, now I know what we got to fix. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. On the defensive side of the ball, we got to go up against King Henry, and the Tennessee Titans are starting to pick it up. I am a proponent of the fact that Tennessee's offense is looking very one-dimensional, because their offense is Derrick Henry. I think teams have figured that out, but I'm curious to see how our defense is going to look against him. I believe the last 4 weeks, he has 306 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns. Washington is right there, I think 16th, stopping the run. They allow at least about 112, 113 yards per game on the ground. I really would like to see how we're going to contain him, because looking at this, I think for Washington, don't bend but don't break. When you look at Ryan Tannehill, he's completed, I believe, about 81% of his passes. I think he threw 2 touchdowns against the Colts. They're slowly starting to pick it up. So I just think the key is just doing all the. I would like to see some blitzes, some blitz packages, man zone coverages. I like to see the defensive line's pass rush. Montez Sweat has yet to register a sack, and I'm not concerned about that. I think you're going to see that tonight. I think you're going to see that tomorrow. I just think that if you can contain Derrick Henry to at least 100 yards max on the ground, I think you've beaten them. Because Washington, we're giving up about 27 points a game, and I am expecting better, and that's being nice, because I have been very staunch on this defense, and it's I'm sorry, it's just disappointing. In other news, Brian Robinson, who was shot about an attempted robbery, is going to make his season debut. I believe he's back in August on the 28th. That's when he was shot. It's just a testament to just the hard work and just watching God do his work. And even though he'll be on a pitch count, as like you say in baseball, just to get him out there, get his feet going. I think it's just a blessing to see him make such a recovery so fast. I think that, again, this speaks to the testament of his strength, his courage, and I think also too, he said, thank God, in my personal opinion, to see. So I'm happy to see him be back out there with the guys. I'm curious to see how our running backs will look. We'll have all 3 tomorrow, and Jonathan Williams will most likely not play. We can and we will have success against this team, but it seems like we're going to have to mix it up with some pass and some runs. The one glaring weakness on the offensive side of the ball for Washington is we are not good at play action. And Scott Turner looks like a deer in headlights. And that is a issue. And I don't know if Brian Robinson fixes that. Because we all know Tennessee, how Tennessee is. Tennessee kind of reminds me of Baltimore. Control the clock and ground and pound, establish a run early. And that is going to be the key. If you can establish a run early, that's going to be the key to beating your team. If your passing offense is struggling. Now, I do see a couple things. I see the Commanders picking it up. I don't think you're going to see. I think you're going to see the offensive line be better. I mean, going into this game, they've given up 17 sacks, but I think they'll be better. I think the offense will be more open. I do expect it to be a close game, but again, it's going to come down to whose offense opens the floodgates. And I think it's going to be the Washington Commanders. I think the Washington Commanders are going to surprise the Tennessee Titans. I'm looking along the lines of 24-18.
Guaranteed.
Now, just a couple notes for the injury report. Percy Butler, Sam Cosmi, Jaheim Dobson, Milo Eifler are all out. David Mayo is questionable, and Logan Thomas is questionable. The Titans have got quite a few guys that are out. Treylon Burks is out. Zach Cunningham, Bud Dupree, Joe Jones, Mari Hooker, Ola Adimwe, he's out. And then Nate Davis and Caleb Farley are questionable. So we should take advantage of those. I'd like to see some taking advantage of those injuries, and especially the defensive side of the ball. Now that you don't have Bud Dupree out there, establish a run early, things like that. I'm hoping Scott Turner, Carson are able to see early. So that's pretty much how I see how the game's going to be. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our last segment of the podcast.
Incoming message.
Final message. What can I say? Now that fall's in the air, doesn't feel like it. Fall came a little too fast. Still, take time to do something for yourself. Whether that's go to the movies, go pick a pumpkin, arts and crafts, something that just takes your mind off in things in this thing we call life. Because we all have things that go on where we are pulled in different directions. But take time for yourself and remember that it's not about it's not about the sprint. It's about finishing the marathon. So there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days. But take it one day at a time and everything will be all right. That's my final message. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate it. Be tuned in for future episodes. The game's about to start. Like I said, you'll see these episodes tomorrow morning. I'll have these up for y'all. In the Maryland, that'll be live in the evening as well. But until then, I do appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend too. Peace. Stay up.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.
Told you so extra, but I know I'm the same, yeah. Love me in spite of my trauma. Give me what I need instead of the drama. Cause when it pop off, it's like, oh my. All good all day, but the night we be going so hard on the flip side. So tell me what we on a day, babe. I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high.